welcome. This is Jean Eaton of Information Managers, and I'm so delighted that you've joined us for this special presentation with Janet Kennedy, how to take control of manage your social media for your healthcare practice. Today is a special preview webinar about the program about managing your social healthcare practice, your social media for your healthcare practice. And we're going to have a conversation with Janet Kennedy today. We're going to talk about the importance of social media for your healthcare practice. And then Janet has all sorts of tips that you're going to be able to use right away about managing social media for your practice, the importance of it, and perhaps some ideas and suggestions about where to get started. We're also going to take a quick look at the course that Janet has authored for healthcare for social media for healthcare, and answer your questions as we go through our webinar today. My name is Jean Eaton, and I am the Practical Privacy Coach and Practice Management Mentor with Information Managers. I'm delighted that you've joined us today, and if you've got any questions that we're not able to answer right away, you can join and ask us by LinkedIn, by Twitter, or by Facebook. This is going to be a great opportunity for you to ask me questions of Janet Kennedy for your social media questions for your healthcare practice. Janet Kennedy is the president and owner of Get Social Health, and she has been doing podcasting and social media and communications for a number of years and has recently celebrated 2 years of her podcast called Get Social Health. Janet is also the author of the online courses for social media for healthcare, and Janet is a member and fellow of the Mayo Clinic Social Media Network. Janet is responsible for marketing and digital strategy for MarketView Partners, a leading consumer analytics company with solutions for healthcare, utilities, and retail. Janet has also been involved with the design and manage digital execution for company and clients. Janet is the president and social media consultant with Get Social Health Academy. She's the content author and is focusing on social media and HIPAA compliance for healthcare practices and professionals. She's the founder of the online training company providing courses, webinars, and coaches in social media, plus ready-to-post content called Social Content Solutions. Janet is a well-rounded marketing professional with 15 years of experience to be able to share this information with us today. So she's going to help us to deepen our understanding about social media and help us to develop some plans to drive traffic and sales or patients coming through your doors with social media for your healthcare practice. Janet, thank you for joining us tonight.
You know, Jean, that was an incredible introduction, and the whole time I was thinking I'd give it all up for a gold medal. I have Olympics on the brain, and I've been so inspired by such amazing stories. And I think really that's the crux of what social media is all about, is really good storytelling.
That's very interesting. So a good storytelling is why we want to engage with social media, or what makes social media more interesting?
Well, certainly that's what's going to be able to elevate healthcare social media, is thinking through, are you providing really good stories? Because that's what people will engage with. When they feel like there's something emotionally that they're connected to, then they're going to engage more. And I think that's a word that you're going to hear more and more, because engagement is really starting to trigger whether you're successful or not in your healthcare social media.
Okay. So the Olympics is a really good example about some really good marketing tools and using all types of social media. Why should a healthcare organization be involved with social media? We're not Olympics.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I think the Olympics prove out that while some people may not live in social media, there are times when everyone is attracted to it for some reason or other. And because the Olympics are so timely and there are things that are happening in the moment, social media is having a heyday. They are proving that people don't want to wait anymore. None of us are patient enough to get the paper, or golly, for those of you who remember previous Olympics where social media wasn't present, and you would rush home so you could watch all the content on television at 7 o'clock on. And you really tried not to listen to the radio on the way home, but that was the only way that you'd have spoilers about who won or who didn't win. Well, nowadays, we can't go 5 seconds without something happening that the world could potentially know about it. So I think the reason a healthcare practice needs to think about being in social media is because that's where your patients are. There is no definition of a patient is only a patient when he's in your healthcare practice. A patient needs information all the time and is going online all the time to find it. And it's so much better if you're the one providing the information than some maybe less authority sites that are out there.
Right. So you want to be the one who's telling the story, and telling the story in such an engaging way that they can't wait to hear more from you.
Absolutely. And I think with healthcare practices, there is something of a moral obligation to be telling this information. And it's not that hard. I think that's the thing that can be very scary, is that you have information that people want to have. You just have to come up with a process to make it easy for you to provide it to them and publish it, whether it's in a blog or a Facebook page or even in something simple like Twitter or Instagram.
So healthcare practices can participate in social media, and part of that is to be able to engage with patients, but we also want to be able to engage with other colleagues and coworkers in that healthcare space, and just some simple business things about making it easier for people to find where you are physically.
Oh, absolutely. So from the standpoint of social media platforms, there are very, very many different platforms. And unfortunately, they do come and go. So you may feel like if you've invested in a particular platform and then it gets gobbled up by somebody else or it closes down and you're a little worried that you spent all that time there. Hopefully, if you're archiving your information, you're going to get a lot of good use out of it. But each platform has a different kind of audience. For instance, LinkedIn is a wonderful way to connect with colleagues and with peers, with individuals who are doing research and sharing information, whereas you're going to find Facebook is a better place to find the majority of your patients. That's where they're spending time. And then Twitter is a wonderful way to connect during conferences. I have seen more light bulbs pop off over people's heads when they've gone to a conference and the conference has thought ahead to have what's called a Twitter fountain or a Twitter wall. And that is an extra screen where it's actually playing all the live tweets. And I have watched during conferences where people wonder what that is, see it in action, and then their heads are down because they're downloading the Twitter app and they're signing up for it on the spot because they realize this is an incredible opportunity to engage with their peers.
I have not had the opportunity to see that yet. A Twitter fountain?
There's 3 or 4 different kinds. A Twitter fountain or Twitter Fontana, those are apps that you can load up, whether it's through a PowerPoint presentation or, through a direct projection onto a screen, or it can be on a tablet, it can be in a wall, but it is a free resource that will go out and capture all the Twitter, say, hashtags for an event, and then replay them so that you can see who's saying what, and then the competition starts. And a lot of folks who love Twitter will be in there tweeting as fast as they can and taking pictures so they can see themselves on the Twitter wall. So it's a really exciting way to engage people and show the folks who aren't quite aware of how the Twitter thing works. It's a great, easy way to show them the interconnectedness and the interactivity of using Twitter at a conference.
That's very cool. I will be looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Janet, you have created a series of courses to help us learn about social media. So who's the course for?
You know, I have been a small business marketer my whole career. It hasn't always been in healthcare. Sometimes it's been actually in, what we might call a mom and pop. But a lot has changed in healthcare, and there are still really hundreds of thousands of mom and pop healthcare businesses out there. People who want to be independent and they want to run their own business, but obviously the business model has changed and now they have to actually wear a marketing hat every now and then. So when you look at some practices that are large enough or they have a sizable revenue stream where they can hire an agency, that's fine. My concern is for the small practice that really needs to still do the same thing the big practice does, but with an iota of that budget. So therefore, a lot of the work I've been doing over the last 3 years through the podcast and through the webinars that I've been delivering for a variety of companies, I decided to take that information and actually recreate it and refine it so that it is specifically addressing healthcare practices and that it would be accessible as an online course where you could go in and take the parts that you needed to take to get up to speed, but in small chunks in 3, 5, and 7-minute pieces so that you could do it on the fly, get back to work, come back, take a little bit more and that sort of thing. But it's just because you're a small practice, you still have the same obligations, you have the same issues with HIPAA and privacy law, and you have the same needs to drive business as large practices do. You just don't necessarily have the resources to learn how to market your practice and particularly do social media in a safe and HIPAA compliant manner.
Okay. So I love that you're focusing this on the small healthcare provider, those people that didn't go to school to learn how to do marketing and didn't go to school to learn how to do social media. And perhaps, we've got some learning curves that we have to do. But we're also busy small business owners as well as being busy healthcare providers. So the course might be for the business healthcare owner. It might be for the healthcare provider. Perhaps the clinic manager or the person that you've volunteered or voluntold that they're going to help you with your social media. It's interesting that we have a number of people in our everyday world, our kids or other people that are savvy about how to do Facebook, or so they think they are. But maybe it's not the way that we want our business to be represented on Facebook.
Well, that was really the primary reason I felt the need to create these courses. And you mentioned the audiences, and yes, it is intended to be for, say, the healthcare practitioner. If they don't understand the big picture of what's going on, it's really hard to either embrace or encourage social media use. But we know that largely it's going to be the practice manager's responsibility and potentially that intern or recent college grad on the front desk. But as you mentioned, it's not like you can flip a switch and say, hey, now you're a digital marketing manager. Understanding the difference between how you might have a conversation with your friends or family and how that is safe and compliant and engaging when you're trying to speak as a business person, that's two different things. And the other thing is it can be a huge time suck. And if you don't have the tools and the training and some resources to know how to manage your time in social media, you could go down a black hole really, really quickly.
Absolutely, yes. So we need to know who's going to be involved in doing the social media. We have to keep in mind that the audiences are different too. So it might be the patient that we're trying to speak to, and might be their caregivers, depending on what type of practice you have. If you've got seniors or you're dealing with kids, you're talking not just to the kids, you're talking to the parents and the other caregivers and the community at large.
Absolutely. And if you do a good job in social media, and I'm including website in that, we address it a lot in the courses because the website is so key to having a successful online presence. But if you're focusing on doing a good job in social media, there will be benefits beyond just patient engagement. You'll do better with search engines. You'll do better claiming your space online. You'll be able to make peer-to-peer connections a little bit better so that as you worry and plan for physician recruitment and also referral programs, having an established online presence is going to be a real benefit. But it all comes down to you need the patients to be engaging. Therefore, the first and primary focus for your online activity should be what is it that the patients want to know? How can you provide that information? And are you providing it in such a way that it engages them and makes them want to share it with their friends?
Okay. All right. So as far as benefits of using social media, we've talked about engaging and educating the patients and the referral partners and new employees, which are all really important pieces. What about the myths? What myths are there about social media?
Well, I'm surprised you limited us to just talking about 3 because we probably could come up with 30, but these are 3 pretty big ones. So first off, and I think you could refer to this as the ostrich head in the sand, is that if I don't see it and I don't participate in it, I don't have to worry about it. And I don't want to scare anybody. That's not the purpose of good social media. But the reality is consumers/patients have become so comfortable with going online to seek information that you are really missing an opportunity to either reach those people or, and this is the big part, or be aware of what they're saying about you online. So it doesn't matter whether you're present or not, they're there and they're saying things about you. And if you're not online and participating in conversations, you can't, in essence, defend yourself or get your raving patients to say good things about you. The other thing is, and this is really scary, is that if you have not been online, please go research your business and your practice in all the major platforms. And you may find, even if you don't think you have a Facebook page, you really do. And that's because all of these platforms are scraping detailed information from many sources throughout the web. And one of the things I have found every single time I go online to research any topic is that Facebook has said, well, we have patients here who are actually checking in at this business. That business happens to be a healthcare practice. They don't care. So they've actually pre-populated a page with your patient check-ins, with your patient comments, even your patient reviews. So you may think you're safe by not having a Facebook page or a LinkedIn profile, but that doesn't mean that people aren't filling that information in and that you don't have a place there. But by not claiming it, you are losing control of the ability to manage the information that's there.
Wow, I didn't know that they were even populating patient comments too.
Absolutely. And they will indicate that these are comments from external sources. So, for instance, if you don't have a Facebook page, it will go to Google and to some other sites and pull those reviews in. So I'm trying to think what the expression is. Oh, I know what it is. If you can't beat them, join them. Well, you cannot beat them. So you really do need a plan to figure out how do you want to have your online presence and how are you going to manage it.
Okay, important things to know. And myth number 2.
Okay, this is one that I'm a social media strategist and I do social media work for people, but I'm going to sit on the fence here and say that you don't have to hire people. You can do it yourself. But just like anything, you don't have to drive the school bus either, but the bus still has to get to school. So the question is it worth the investment to help somebody bring you up to speed and then set processes that you can move forward, or do you feel like you have the time to do it? So there are a lot of decisions you need to make with your marketing and your social media, and there are costs involved. It's just that some of the times the cost is your time. So you have to determine your time or your practice manager's time or the young person at the front desk, is the time they're spending equivalent to the cost of maybe going out to hire an agency or social media strategist. So that's a decision you need to make. I'm not saying you can't do it. If you have an affinity for it, if you actually enjoy social media, there is no reason on earth that you can't manage it all internally, and that there are, in essence, minimum levels of engagement and participation that you can have, and it is something that you can schedule and manage once you know what you're doing. However, there is also the return on your investment of, is it worth investing a little bit of money over here and maybe hiring somebody to write a blog post for you, or to take your blog post and kind of firm it up for you so that you can paste that. And certainly I wouldn't recommend that anybody do their own website. Very important that you hire web professionals to get your website up to speed. So the myth is there's no such thing as free, but then the other myth is that you can do social media on a budget. It's all about planning.
Right. So as a small business owner, sometimes you have to balance out, what do I have more of, or what can I spend more of? Do I spend more money, or do I spend more time? But I want to know, as a business owner, I want to know the technology. I want to know how things work before I feel comfortable sharing it with somebody else and delegating that either to a staff person or somebody that I want to hire. So it's kind of bouncing several balls at once, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And I do think that you want to have enough information that you can make a good decision. So that if you don't know anything about social media, I have seen all kinds of businesses really get taken, and people charge exorbitant sums of money for things that really were very, very straightforward and not very clever and really not worth it. So you have to know enough to be dangerous. You have to know enough that you can hire somebody and know that you're getting a good deal. Now, I can't fix my car, but I know people that I can ask about fixing my car and how much should this be. And we all know about getting, second quotes and second opinions. So make sure that if you are going to go out and hire a professional, someone to give you some assistance, that you're getting 2 or 3 different people to give you quotes, and don't just go with the first, the fastest, or the family in managing your social media.
Absolutely. Okay. So that brings us to myth number 3. I can't engage patients in social media in a way that doesn't break privacy rules.
This has been the biggest explanation or excuse for not engaging in social media is, oh my gosh, I'm going to break privacy laws. I'm going to break all the rules that say I can't engage. And it really comes down to something extremely simple. You can't post information about a patient without their authorization. Now, if the patient allows you to do it, well, gosh, many practices will use testimonials or will use patients and information about procedures, and that just means that the patient knows they're doing it and they're giving permission. So the real issue with social media is training your staff well enough, and that is office staff as well as your clinical staff, to know what is or isn't appropriate as far as engaging with patients. So, for instance, I know some hospitals so afraid of publishing pictures of babies in the maternity ward that they've even taken them off their walls. Well, the simple solution is just saying, hey, we'd love to have you on our baby wall. Would you sign this permission? Oh, well, okay, then that's pretty simple. That's kind of straightforward. So it's making sure you've got the processes in place and the training in place so that you know what is or isn't a violation of privacy.
And then you can also set up your social media rules and the way that you engage in social media so that patients don't expect to have a conversation with you on social media. So you can still be engaging without having a conversation online.
Well, and the conversation really can happen as long as it's not about that specific patient's specific health information. If you post a interesting blog article and then you move it out to Facebook and it's all about butter or no butter, or are eggs bad, or what the latest information on cholesterol is, there's no reason why you can't have a conversation back and forth with people on your Facebook page. It's only if somebody says, well, when you did my heart surgery, doctor, blah, 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 blah. Okay, hands off. You've now referenced the medical condition. Now we can't say that. But it just means having social media policies that you've made both your managers of your social media aware of, as well as your patients aware of. Here's what we can or can't say. And if this comes up, please understand we're going to have to take that comment down or block the comment or something like that because you violated your own HIPAA and your own privacy. And so we're trying to protect you. And I think if everyone understands that that's your motivation, it really shouldn't be an issue.
Absolutely. And the premise that if you engage in social media is that you're going to break privacy rules is false. It's a myth, and we've busted it. Um, that shouldn't be holding you back. There are ways to manage that risk, and you need to have a backup plan so that if the rules of engagement are clear to all parties. But that shouldn't be stopping you from starting or engaging in social media.
Absolutely. And in some practices like physical therapy or dermatology, the patients are more than willing to share their information and to show the progress that they've made. It just means having a process in place to get their permissions and get it in writing before you post.
Great. Okay, so we're now Mythbusters.
Woohoo!
Let's talk a little bit more, Janet, about the course, Social Media Training for the Healthcare Practice.
So I created a series of courses to make it easier for everybody within the practice to all get on the same page and get up to speed with social media. Now, I'm a career marketer. I've been doing that since almost my very first job. So I will tell you, while we talk about social media, it isn't here's how you make a Facebook post. It's much more about having a plan and a strategy, and then let's get into some really tactical suggestions for managing it. So I created a series of courses, and the courses are broken out, and think of it kind of as a hierarchy. So you start with a course 100, which is called the Big Picture. This is a perfect course to show the physicians in the practice, the thought leaders in the practice, or even a general practice training for everyone, and it gives you the big picture. It's kind of giving you an idea of what are people doing online, how many people are online, which platforms are popular, how is healthcare engaging. So it's really giving you kind of an overview of the whole idea of social media and healthcare. And then in the second course, we get into HIPAA, privacy, and social media policies. Now, HIPAA, of course, applies to the United States, but if you just take the terminology and concerned yourself more with it, it's representing privacy issues. It's applicable really worldwide. But in this particular one, we talk a lot about social media policies, and I actually have a whole series of social media fails, examples of where individuals either willfully or through a state of ignorance about the platform violated HIPAA or violated privacy. And sometimes these examples can be a real eye-opener. And then, of course, if I haven't scared you off totally and you're like, okay, I'm ready, I can do this, I have two courses that are very, very practical and tactical about how to do it. The course Claim Your Space, that's really about all the places you need to go online to claim your business space, how you should do it, what kind of information you should have, and it's very tactical about getting your practice up and online. There's a nice big section on your website. There are a lot of changes that have happened in website development to you need to know about in order to really be successful online. And then the last course is very much platform specific. So we talk about what is healthcare doing in Facebook, what's healthcare doing in Instagram. And it's giving you some very concrete examples of how healthcare is using the top platforms and how they're engaging successfully and ways for you to go about it. Plus, we also get into a lot of detailed discussions of the kind of spreadsheets and tracking systems and free tools and that sort of thing, so that as you're going to manage the social media on your own, you've got a lot of good information on how to go about designing, creating, writing, and posting courses, as well as, content, as well as information about times of day and the strategies behind creating this content. So really, if you took all four of those courses, I've decided to call them the essentials, because it's about 5.5 hours worth of content, and it will get you up to speed and give you really the big picture on everything going on with healthcare social media.
And Janet, I was really thrilled when I took the course and I went through the course. And one of the things that I like the content, it's very easy to manage. I found myself engaged with your course. So when we talked about, your profile page on Twitter, I said, doggone it, I know it wasn't good. Now I know what I need to do and fix it. And I went into my account and I fixed it. So I can do a little bit at a time as you're going through the course.
Absolutely. I know that no one has 5.5 hours to sit down and take a course on anything, even if they wanted to. But I also realize that you're going to be able to grab 5 minutes here or 10 minutes there. So the courses were designed to be really in tidbits. If I was getting to about 10 minutes of recording, I determined how could I make this even smaller so that you could go in, grab it on your breaks, grab it at the quiet moments. And then the cool thing about this platform is that you can identify that you've taken this one, this one, this one. And then when you come back in again, you can pick up where you left off.
Well, that sounds like a great opportunity for me to be able to show the quick video that we have about what the courses actually look like. Okay. So this is the course platform on Rizuko. So this is Janet's course about social media. And you can see in your library all of the courses that you have purchased. So I can see at a glance all of the different courses. And we've got all of the course numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to go into the Essentials course, which has them all bundled together. And here we are in the course. So each of the modules in the course look amazingly similar. We've got the lessons that are separated out, and you simply click on it, and you click on the next step for the course. So Janet has a variety of videos in place that they play really fast. The response time is fantastic on this platform. And you do each of the little pieces of activity. And when you're done, you go up to the button at the top that says Mark is complete. Once you've done that, it automatically tells you where you need to go next. And it's just a really simple link to get to the next part in your course. So we've got a combination of videos, of text, documents that you can drop down and downloads, and really very simple to navigate and very practical and tactical tips about how to manage social media for your healthcare practice.
You know, one of the things that I was concerned about is that I really feel like if somebody bought this course and then told the practice manager or the young person at the front desk, here, it's all yours now, that they would have a little bit of a challenge because everyone wouldn't understand what and why they were doing. So the cool thing about this platform is I have the ability to add students at will. And so I've decided that when I sell any of my courses, I'm not actually selling it as a one-off. I am selling it for that price includes up to 5 people at a particular location. Therefore, when somebody is going through and maybe they're a little faster, they're maybe 3 or 4 modules ahead, when another person goes in, they don't have to try and remember where they were. They actually have their own process and their own, in essence, bookmark so that they can pick up where they left off. Therefore, hopefully, we're going to see some discussions going within individuals within the practice. And I think that's really exciting because you need to be talking to each other about what this information means.
Right. And that's amazing. So you purchase the course and you can have up to 5 people working in the same practice with you also take the course with you.
Absolutely. And I really hope what's going to happen is that people are going to have conversations and encourage other folks within the practice, to get up to speed as well.
That's very generous. And to be able to share that information and, brainstorm together or conquer and divide, and making sure that we all have the same understanding, the same foundation that we can share with each other and come up with a strategy that works for your practice.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The other really exciting thing that I like about this platform is that it allows the discussion between the other participants on this particular platform for this course. So if Janet purchases the course on this link, and Susie does and Bob does, then all 4 of us can participate in the discussion together. And we're not forced to go into Facebook to have a discussion group.
Well, that's the interesting thing about social media is that while I have said that practically everybody's there are still some folks who are hesitant about full engagement in social media, and this platform allows for internal discussion. So in this particular case, everyone who knows you, Jean, will be in there, and then Jean is also a member of every one of the courses, so she'll also be able to see the comments and the suggestions and the questions, and she can also pop in there and provide her thoughts.
Absolutely. So I'm into this course, and I am really excited about it. It has provided all sorts of different ways to be able to share that information, and very practical, tactical tips and information that I've been able to put to use already. And when I'm in the course, I can help with that brainstorming. And because Janet is from the States, she's got some content in there that's in U.S. specific, and we can help make it applicable to your Canadian relationship as well, to your Canadian business.
That's excellent.
So the other course that we haven't spoken about yet is the LinkedIn for Healthcare Professionals. And this is really very, very powerful course all by itself.
Well, I do want to say that if you are still hesitant and are not active in social media, if you're going to do anything, at the very least, please go to LinkedIn and create a LinkedIn profile for yourself. It's an incredibly powerful tool. It gives you an ability to present every professional in your organization, and I don't just mean physicians or the nurse practitioners, but I mean your full staff should have some kind of presence online, because all of that will help you with search and will also help validate your credentials and your credibility in your own community.
Okay. And this LinkedIn is something that not a lot of people do well, so we've all got room to improve.
Yeah, that's true. And the nice thing about LinkedIn is it really is one of those set it and forget it. So if you do go in and choose only to be a passive presence, but you spend the time, a few hours really is all you need to make sure that your profile looks as complete and as professional as possible, you don't have to spend a lot of time there. Now, if you have professional goals that do encourage you to engage outside of your own individual community, then LinkedIn is an important place to be, and there's a lot of really interesting things happening there. But from the basis of having an online presence, at the very least, let's get everybody in there with a complete and well-done LinkedIn profile.
I like that point. It's set it and forget it, but you need to put some effort to make it look well. Otherwise, it's not meeting your needs.
Absolutely. And I don't know, Jean, if your folks are interested, because I would just love to have students in my Essentials course. If anybody purchases the Essentials course through your link, I'll give them this course for free. And I guess one of the things that I should probably mention is if you go to getsocialhealthacademy.com, you'll see my list of online courses. But it's important to go to Jean's link, which is getsocialhealthacademy.com/infoman. And the reason that's important is because she is getting a discount to give to you on every course. So it's between 20 and 25% off. Every single course is discounted by using Jean's link.
And that's so amazing. And I'm just so excited. So come to the link, and then you'll be able to get a discount from everybody else that's on the web. So this is special for my community, and I am so grateful. I'm so excited about sharing this with you. So we've got the Essentials course, we've got the LinkedIn course, and we have a couple of testimonials from folks. And I just want to go through this really quickly. And I realize I made a bit of an oops on the slide here, so I want to read out some of these testimonials that are on the Get Social Health Academy website. Tamara Anderson, the Community Relations Coordinator from Exodus Healthcare Network, says, Janet Kennedy is masterfilled in the field of social media. She has given me great insight and direction into maneuvering social media to the benefit of our business. I would highly recommend her online courses. They have been invaluable. Amelia Roberts, a registered nurse, said, I just finished the LinkedIn for Healthcare Professionals course. Janet's explanation of common mistakes, the rationale of the why behind the mistakes, as well as what to do to fix the problem was beyond helpful. After going through this well laid out course, I now have so many action items. Most of all, I appreciated her description that LinkedIn is, she describes it as a place of where your resume can come to life. And one more from Brian Zender, a physician from Exodus Health. Janet, this is just the training we needed to get engaged with social media platforms. As a 52-year-old physician, I have been somewhat slow to get on Facebook and other bandwagons, not because of interest, but rather so busy with running a medical practice. Your course is just what the doctor ordered. I'm looking forward to the rest of my leadership team becoming social media evangelists, which will more than likely transform the whole culture of our company and allow us to serve our community better. Thank you.
Well, they were so sweet to say that, and I want to say that Dr. Zender and Tamara Anderson in particular participated in a pilot program of mine, and at the beginning, a lot of hand-holding, and by the end, I was like, oh, that was cool what you just did. Can I use that as an example? So it was really wonderful to see how quickly they were able to get up to speed.
Excellent. And I just wanted to be able to add my testimonial here too. I saw the program. I connected with Janet on social media. It was kind of a very interesting story. And I was so thrilled with her course and the way that it's laid out and the content and how it's delivered. And I love that she's focused on that small healthcare provider niche, that I asked her to join us today and see if I could participate and share the program with my clients and my network. And I'm just delighted, Janet, that you have made this offer to my community. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Okay. So just to be clear, as far as full disclosure, Janet has offered me an opportunity to share a special price with you in my network. And if you purchase through my link, I do receive a small commission out of that. But most importantly, I'm really excited to be able to share this information with you, and I want you to be engaged in social media. So Janet has told us about the offer for LinkedIn. So tell us again, Janet, what that's about.
So LinkedIn is, of course, the professional platform. It is, in essence, the resume online, but it's the resume you want to write, not the one you have to write for a job. So it's an ability to tell a story about yourself and really think about it from the standpoint of the big picture. It isn't just about what you do from 9 to 5. It is about everything you're committed to professionally, and that could be writing, that could be engaging with your community, supporting nonprofits. LinkedIn gives you a chance to do that. But they've been through a lot of changes, and if you're not aware of all the bells and whistles, it can sometimes be a challenge. So I hopefully am giving you some really good information about how to use LinkedIn strategically and then actually how to go in and do it. As I mentioned, I do want to offer you this LinkedIn for healthcare professionals. It's $97 normally. It's $77 through Jean's link, but I'm going to give it to you free if you purchase the Essentials modules.
That's very generous. And not only are you getting the Essentials course, you're sharing that with 5 people in your practice, and you get the LinkedIn course for healthcare professionals. That's more than generous. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Everybody's going to be learning forever.
Yes, I can't wait. It's so fun. Now, the other bonus that we've got for those of you that stay to the end of our webinar today is Conference Success with Twitter. This is another course that Janet has on that same page. So tell us a little bit about this one, Janet.
Well, I have been very fortunate to be a social media ambassador at a variety of healthcare and regular conferences. And that is really exciting way to bring information to the people who aren't at a conference and to engage much more actively with people at a conference. So this little mini course, it's only about maybe 35 or 45 minutes, but again in smaller modules. It shows you about how you can engage successfully, and it talks about Twitter and the ways to get up and get into conversations. So if you have a conference coming up, I really encourage you to take this course. And if you don't have a Twitter handle, invest in it for at least this event and try it out. It really is a wonderful way to sort of get your feet wet with the live interactive nature of social media. And I think you'll enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I use a lot of examples from a healthcare conference that I had attended as a social media ambassador. So I think you'll find it extremely relevant and timely. The course is free, and you can find it at the getsocialhealthacademy.com/infoman. And again, that's the special link you want to go to for everything.
Thank you, Janet. The course is a lot of fun, and you need to take this course because you're attending a conference and you want to learn how to use Twitter. And Janet shows you what the hash signs are and all of that information if that's new to you. You need to take this course if you are sponsoring a conference. If you are on the conference committee, if you're on the speaker selection, if you're preparing the program, this is an extremely valuable course. You need to take this. And this is available without having made a purchase. This is a bonus just because Janet's such a nice person.
Well, and I'd love to get your feedback. So you'll know my Twitter handle at Get Social Health, and hopefully by the end of the course, you'll be getting one of your own. So please tweet to me. I want to hear about your experiences, and I will give you some social media love and tell everybody about you too.
That's fantastic. So, Janet, we want to tell everybody what the offer is today. So we've got a series of courses that you have as part of the essentials. So each of these courses could be purchased separately, but to be able to purchase them as a bundle, you get a cost savings.
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, it's really kind of a double cost saving. So you, if you're buying with GeneSlink, each of the courses is discounted from the full price of the course. But then if you purchase the essentials, it bundles the courses 1, 2, 3, and 400 together, and it's even a deeper discount. So you're getting a pretty good value there. It would normally be almost $650, and you're going to get it for less than $500.
That's fantastic. So you're going to get all of these courses, and in each of those courses, you get video tutorials, a detailed overview of the subject, real practical examples, downloadable handouts that you can use for the course and for your, time to come for your social media. So you get the checklist, the cheat sheets, and the additional resources. You get unlimited access via email to ask questions. That's huge. That's extremely valuable. Not only do you get the course, you get somebody there to help you answer questions and provide some comments about, gee, I just did this. How does it look? You get to participate in the private discussion groups for those people that are registered for the course. So you're not forced to go into Facebook to have a group discussion group or a private group on Facebook. At the end of the course, you get a personal consultation with Janet to review the course content and answer any questions that you have upon completion of the course. And I'll be there too in the discussion groups to learn with you, to brainstorm, and to comment on your questions, and where necessary to kind of put some of the key points in the Canadian context as far as the privacy legislation. That is a fantastic package to put together. Now, not only do you get that course for yourself when you purchase the essentials, you get the opportunity to invite up to a total of 5 people in your practice to be able to take the course with you. You can do it individually, so you don't have to be sitting with each other. You'll have your own course program in front of you, and you can work at it at your own speed. We've got the bonus for the LinkedIn. If you purchase the Essentials course through the link today, Janet will also bonus you that LinkedIn for Healthcare Professionals course, which is a fantastic course in and of itself. And just for joining us today, you get to participate with the Success with Twitter program. And that is something that you can purchase and download right off of this link. All of those courses are available individually and as a group at this same link, getsocialhealthacademy.com/infoman. So to my network, I wanted to share this information with you to help you to attract more patients and share your message with them. You know your healthcare practice should be found online, but if you don't know how, and if you don't want to hire that marketing person to help you full time, then this is the course for you. If you think that you could really help your patients with tips to keep them motivated, I want you to have this program. If you know that you have a great healthcare practice and that you can provide great care and services to more patients, if they could only find you online, then I want you to claim your own online presence and get new patients through your door. Janet has delivered to you today great tips for you to get started. Now, Janet has the course ready for you today. It's an opportunity to benefit even more when you register for the online course that is specifically tailored for the small healthcare practice or organization, even when you have limited marketing staff or budget. Even if you don't register for the course today, Janet is offering that special bonus that you can use right away to use Twitter at your next conference. So social media for healthcare practice is ready for you today. I'm there. I hope you will join me. You just need to go to the link, Get Social Health Academy /Infoman to join us there, and you can make your purchase today. And the bonuses for the Conference Success with Twitter is available for the duration of the rest of the replay. So it'll be there for about a week. Thank you, Janet.
Oh, Jean, you are like the queen of enthusiasm. I am inspired listening to you. I want to take the course myself.
You should. It's really good. So if you've got any questions for Janet, this is the way to reach her. Janet, what's the best way to get hold of you?
Well, I would say Twitter, but honestly, if you have a longer form question, let's go to email janet@getsocialhealth.com. Please connect with me in LinkedIn no matter what you do, because I love to connect in LinkedIn. And then, of course, you can find me at Get Social Health in Twitter, and Get Social Health is also the name of my Facebook page.
Okay. Now, a couple of other reasons why you should follow Janet online is because she does all sorts of other things, other courses, other podcasts. And Janet, you've got a course content coming up really soon about Facebook.
Yes, actually, next week I am teaching a webinar with Carol Bush, who is the social nurse. And we're teaching the same webinar 5 different times, so you should be able to find a time that works for you. I published a post in LinkedIn that has all the links to it. But it's a course about creating engaging content. So the first half is going to be me, and I'm going to be talking about what's really working right now in Facebook with engaging content. And I'll give you a little sneak preview. I'm going to be talking a little bit about visuals, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about video, among other things. And then the second half will be Carol talking about how to get started with a blog and what makes engaging content in a blog. And then we're also going to talk about a program that we're launching together called Social Content Solutions. So I hope you join us again 5 different times next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. And you can find out more information about it online at pretty much any one of my social profiles, or shoot me an email. I'll be happy to send you a sign-up link. And it is a free webinar.
Okay. So more opportunities to be able to learn about social media and to be able to find those things that you need to fill your niche and the package of information that you need to be able to put together. Social media training for the healthcare practice. This is the link to be able to purchase those courses and to get your free bonus. But you have to go there to get that Twitter course. So I'm really hoping that you do that. Janet, it has always been a pleasure to be able to work with you. I'm really excited about the courses. You'll find that I've already populated lots of the discussion.
Oh, good.
So come and join me. And I look forward to having you all join me for healthcare social media training.
Thank you, Jean. It was such a wonderful opportunity to be here with you today, and everyone out there who's listening and watching.
Okay. All right. So now go out there and sign up for the course and get your free Twitter course. This is Jean Eaton with Information Managers. Thanking you for joining us, and I look forward to chatting with you in the discussion groups at Healthcare Social Media Training.